The history of Plentzia, nicknamed La Gallarda, has always been linked to the sea and its estuary. The town was founded by Don Diego López de Haro in 1299 with the name of de Plasentia Butron, with the objective of promoting trade and managing the many mills in its estuary, away from the control of the feudal lords. The right to kill whales of the water that runs from Baquio to Portugalete appears in its charter. A sailing ship and 2 swords are on its shield for Plasentia's contribution to the squadrons of the lordships of Vizcaya. Its shipyards were notable. They began to function around the 13th century and reached their maximum splendour in the 18th century, when they became the most important in the area, even ahead of those of Bilbao. The last ship, the Magdalena, was built in 1919. From the 16th century, it had its own municipal bylaws that regulated life in the town, as well as its administrative and economic affairs. The Brotherhood of San Pedro ran the maritime, fishing and commercial life. In this century, the church of Santa Maria Magdalena was built, whose bell tower had the double function as defensive as well as religious, also serving as a lookout over the estuary and the port. At the same time, a fortified house was built to serve as a corn exchange or warehouse for wheat. It was later used as a town hall, courthouse, prison, library, and currently houses the Plasentia Butron Museum, where the historical exhibits of the town are kept. At that time, the town was walled, and some parts of it still remain today, like the Puerta de Santiago. In those times, whaling and cod fishing were important activities, which led many local fishermen to distant seas, causing complaints about the lack of sailors for the king's levy, because they were in Newfoundland. There is a city there, Plasentia de Terranova, probably named by some sailor who noticed the similarity of the coastlines of both towns. As early as the 18th century, Plentzia had one of the first sailing schools, which was active until 1933. Hence the large number of inhabitants of the town and its vicinity involved in the merchant navy. In the 19th century, Plentzia lost its economic position in shipping. The sandbar prevented large ships from entering the port, and in bad weather, great skill was required to avoid being shipwrecked. Pickling plants were built to process fish as an alternative to economic disruption, but Plentzia needed to reinvent itself. It was the arrival of the railway in 1893 that transformed it into a residential town and tourist destination. So, once again, Plentzia links its present and its future to the sea and its estuary, offering an ideal environment for leisure activities, sports, tourism, and new economic activities based on research and development.